Welcome to the video, gentlemen. So I'm going to start this off with a warning. There is 0 liberals allowed in this video. If you're a liberal, I want your dislike. Click off the video, leave. Next, you're going to gain a little bit of chub. You're going to look like Gorlock Destroyer. Gorlock the Destroyer, whatever her name is, okay? I mean him, they. So, yeah, you're going to get a little bit chubby. And that's okay, though, because you're going to get jacked, so it doesn't matter. So here's my 1 month progress. This is the picture that I probably texted to your sister. And then this is one that I can't because I gained a little bit of chub. But either which way, I put like 20 pounds on my bench max. I just got physically stronger in a month. Definitely a bit bigger just from eating and picking up these habits. So here's some misconceptions. Just because it worked for these magnificent creatures right here, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Just because they eat 500 calories over their maintenance doesn't mean you should too, especially if you have a fast metabolism. So also the types of food that they eat, maybe they just don't work for you. And also maybe their sleep schedule is different. I know people that can barely sleep and still gain some muscle, and other people that if they don't sleep, they gain nothing. And the other thing that I got to teach you is you got to listen to me now because I'm captain of this ship. So listen to me right about now. Here's what you're going to eat. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to eat a lot of steak and ground beef with high fats. You're going to eat a lot of donuts and treats, stuff like that, but do not get them from somewhere like a fast food place. Get them from like a local bakery or make them yourself and use good ingredients. High fats that are unprocessed, like in steak, and lots of protein. Like some whey would be good, but honestly, I get most of mine from just a lot of steak. So here's what you gotta stop. It's pretty straightforward. The Zaza, I apologize, but that's gonna make you lazy and it's gonna kill your lungs. But worst of all, it's gonna lower your test. Next is nicotine and menthol. So if you're a cigarette smoker, this doesn't really apply to you unless you smoke menthol cigarettes. But if you are someone who vapes or Zins or anything like that, this does very much apply to you. That is going to hurt your testosterone. It's going to make it a lot harder if you get bigger. It also does hurt your appetite. So the next one is very important. Voting Biden. If you vote Biden, you're basically admitting that you're gay. This is going to ruin your test because you're going to be feminine. And that's all I got to say for that. Next is beating your Johnson. That's like being an aspiring cuck. And that is very hard to quit. So you might have to struggle with being a cuck for a little bit, but it goes away over time. Seed oils, what I like to call Democrat fuel. So that is what I was mentioning up here. What to eat, high fats, unprocessed, stuff like that. Processed foods and seed oils, that's like trying to give yourself AIDS. I don't know who would do that intentionally. Try not to eat that stuff. It's in pretty much everything now. You don't have to go out and act like a little zesty 40-year-old mom, be like, I only shop organic. Just eat meat. It's not that difficult. So that is the full story on how you're gonna bulk. So I'm gonna kind of lay out a little plan for you now. All right, so I just cooked up a quick little summary. So you're gonna have to take action here. Calories, this could be slightly different for you. You're gonna have to kind of test it, tweak it, see what works best for you. So if you have a fast metabolism, adding 500 calories per week just isn't enough. I eat 800, and sometimes I even shoot up towards 1,000, but try not to do that consistently. And I probably shouldn't do it at all because that will add unnecessary fat. So you're probably going to end up, if you have fast metabolism, around the 700 to 800 range, but it is different for everyone, so don't take my word on that. Workouts, you're going to need drop sets. If you don't know what a drop set is, it's basically like when you're beating it and then you continue after you finish, okay? So not to be disgusting, but it's like you'll finish a set and go until failure and then drop the weight a bit and go until failure after you drop the weight. That's really good for muscular endurance and it's good for hypertrophy if it's in the right rep range, and it's not as useful for strength, but you should also seriously train strength. So you're going to want to kind of incorporate a lot of hypertrophy, a bit of muscle endurance, and a decent amount of strength. You kind of want to just go for all three, and you're going to end up making the most gains. I'm speaking for personal experience right now. You also do want to train your forearms because that's going to make your lifts better, and it's also a huge part of making yourself look better in general. Forearm veins are really good to make yourself look better. On top of that, if you just have bigger forearms, you can tell easier that person lifts just by looking at them. So if I look at you and you have 0 forearms, but you take off your shirt, 6-pack abs, crazy pecs, good bicep, I would have had no clue if you were wearing something kind of baggy, but if you had big forearms, I could probably pretty easily guess that you lift. Rear delts too, super important for your shoulders. If you don't train your rear delts, you're gonna end up looking like a ectomorph or whatever that word means. You're gonna look like a Power Ranger that's going mid-shift into its like super big dinosaur robot to fight things. Like your shoulder's just gonna look weird. Sleep, 8 to 9 hours. Consistency is key. So it's a little bit different for everyone. For me, like 8.5 hours is perfect, but for you, it might be 9 or 10 hours. For some people, it might be 7. Whatever you feel best rested with is what you have to take. Do whatever makes you feel best rested. It's different for everybody. Test it out, see what works. Put your phone down also before you go to bed. I'm not trying to sound like a doctor. I'm not trying to sound like your mom, but that is literally tricking your brain into thinking that it's daytime while you're about to go to bed. Just don't do that. Diet, don't eat things that are obviously terrible for you, like fried things, especially fried dough, and like fast food. Just don't eat it, bro. Like stuff that's obviously bad for you, like other than things you're only eating to gain weight, like I said, donuts or treats. Eat things like that aren't just pure processed fats and that were literally fried in oil, like stuff like that. Just stuff that is so obviously horrible for you. Don't eat that. And then eat 1 steak a day if you can. If you can't, just do it every other day. If you can't, do it once a week. Do it as much as you can. And the rest of the time, if you can't afford it, I get it. It gets expensive. Switch over to just ground beef with a higher fat percentage as well. So in terms of drugs, I don't know if I can say that on here. ADHD meds you might want to hop off of, specifically the ones that are stimulant based. You know what I'm talking about if you're prescribed anything, but that one that gets abused a lot is pretty bad for your test. So are the ones that are similar. If you're prescribed, you'll know what I mean. But stuff like Concerta is bad too. Vaping, zinning, drinking, smoking that za, all of the above is going to hurt your test. Just don't do any of that. And it's easier said than done when it comes to quitting, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. And even if you can't quit, just doing it less is going to be so much more beneficial for you. Caffeine, don't take pre-workout. I found that when I started taking pre-workout, I kind of needed it to get a lift. And then after that, it eventually just did nothing. And I would just take more and it would still do nothing. So pre-workout, you kind of get yourself into a hole and your lifts just end up all being terrible after a while. So just cut out pre-workout as a whole. You will not need it if you're on a good diet and a good sleep schedule. And try to drink coffee instead of energy drinks. Like, I'm trying to get off energy drinks right now, but I just hate the taste of coffee. I'm trying to like force myself to get used to it. If you're like me and you're smacking down like 2 a day, try to switch to coffee. I'm not good at it either, but it's going to be better for your test. And also, I have to look into this. Don't take my word on this. I don't think energy drinks are that good for your test. So try not to drink those. They're also going to kill you pretty early if you drink a lot of them. So that's pretty much the whole layout. Follow it to get some decent progress like I did here. And again, you're not going to necessarily look better, but you're going to get bigger, which at the end of the day is really all that matters. So I hope this video helps you, bro. You have an amazing day, night, evening, and I will talk to you in the next one.